Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the Project Auto YouTube channel. Thanks so much for tuning in. And in today's video, we're going to be doing the 20-hour review of our Cub Cadet XT1 LT42 hydrostatic riding mower. So we've had this mower for, maybe about a month or two, somewhere in there. And we finally have 20 hours on it. And we're going to take you guys on a little tour of it again, talk about a couple things with it in those 20 hours, and just kind of go over it. It's actually starting to rain, so we're going to try to make this kind of quick. About to get some storms, as you can see, and it's actually raining just a little bit right now. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Alrighty, so like you saw in the beginning of the video, we do now have, it's actually just shy of 20 hours. We have 19 and a half hours on the Cub Cadet 42. And in those 20 hours, we really haven't had any issues yet, knock on wood. It's been doing very well, still cuts very good. The blades are gonna need sharpened, just because of the yard I have. I can't get all the sticks picked up. And of course, you're gonna miss some. Of course, still we have the 547cc overhead valve IntelliPower Cub Cadet engine with the electronic throttle adjustments. We did just do an oil change on it right around the it was right around the 10-hour mark, because I had the break-in oil, so we did do that. So we got the oil changed. Steering is still good. Haven't had any issues with that. As you can see down there, there's nothing in the way yet. I keep that pretty clean. It's a little dirty right now. I haven't washed it for a couple of weeks. I need to get it washed. I have noticed that the I think it's on this side, the deck port, it's okay, but it's not going to do everything you need it to do. So I like to put it up on my jack stands and get it up underneath there, and actually clean it out by hand, just to keep that deck from rusting out too quick. The only thing I've noticed with it so far is I do hear a slight rattling coming from down somewhere in the pulley area in the deck. I haven't investigated it yet. It hasn't affected the mowing ability of it or the drivability. It hasn't really messed with it too much, but it is just a very slight rattle. I'll show you guys here in just a second, see if you can actually hear it. So as you can see, I'm not sure if you're able to hear it, but there is a slight rattling somewhere down here as well. I'll dig into that more, and I will make an update video for you on that another time. But that's really the only main concern I have. Just a couple of flaws with it that I've noticed as well that I'll go ahead and talk about. The LED headlights are awesome, by the way. Very bright, and they do a great job at night, especially when it starts to get dark and you need to finish up mowing. So it does a great job there. I love those headlights. One of the most annoying flaws that I've noticed with this thing, and I've noticed it just because I have longer legs. As I'm mowing, if I have to turn around for some reason or do any kind of movement, I've noticed that my knee has a tendency to bump this throttle. I'll kind of bump it with my knee a little bit like that, and it kind of kicks it over, or I'll bump it like this, and it kicks it all the way down to power cut when I don't need it. So that's kind of something to watch out for. Like I said in one of the previous videos, I wish I had more of a click feel to it, where you had to click it into each spot adjustment. But that's the only thing I've noticed, that I have a tendency to turn around and kind of bump it with my knee like that by accident and not even realize it. But other than that, no issues so far. The hydrostatic still works great. The only thing is, like I mentioned in the previous video, is the reverse does seem kind of weak. I do have issues, especially on hills, backing up if they're a little too steep. But other than that, great. Haven't had any issues with it yet. Actually, one of my neighbors just got their big John Deere stuck down in a ditch down the road. And I took this sucker down. We hooked up a tow strap to it, and this bad boy was actually able to pull out that John Deere that's a lot bigger than this. It's one of the higher end John Deeres. I think it costs like $7,000 or $8,000. And this thing was able to pull it out with no problem. So the rear end is pretty strong in that aspect, but just reverse kind of seems iffy. The only other thing I don't like is the seat safety thing. Mowing the ditch line kind of gets tricky with the seat safety thing, but that's on all of them. But yeah, other than that, this thing is done great. I would recommend it to anybody. It cuts great. The blades are a little dull. Like I said, I need to get those sharpened. That's just because little sticks and stuff that I don't see, I end up hitting and dulls the blade out. But yeah, changing the oil was pretty simple. The only thing I had a hard time with was finding another oil filter. It's kind of hard, tricky finding that, but I was able to find it, and it was pretty easy to change. There's the oil filter right there. You would just take that off, drain it out. And then over here on this side, you have the oil dipstick, and then down here below you have your drain, which you would just take this cap off, twist this and pull out, and it would allow it to drain out for you. So that was pretty easy and simple. I am liking the fact that this mower allows you to fill up from the outside. You don't have to open the hood to do it, and you have a nice little window here to be able to see how much fuel you have left. Obviously it'd be nice to have a fuel gauge, but that's just fancy stuff. But yes, I would recommend this mower to anybody with a good, decent sized yard. Obviously the 42-inch deck, you know, the deck size is all going to depend on your preference. I am kind of regretting not getting the 46, but my old mower is a 46, so if I'm ever really in a hurry and I want that extra wide cut, I can just go ahead and use it. So if your yard is quite large and you don't really have the time to take your time mowing, I would definitely recommend getting the 46 or even the 54 or 52, I think it is. But the 42 serves me good. It does what I need it to do. Like I said, it cuts great, and that power cut feature with the electronic throttle, that power cut is awesome. That has saved me so many times. I've noticed having it on regular cut, it starts to bog down. I just kick it down, it kicks it into full gear, and it just powers through that thick grass, because we had a little bit of rain for a while and had got behind on the grass, and there were some thick spots, and I kicked it into power cut and it just plowed right through it. Did a great job. These storage pockets are great. I got my tools in here from when I was hooking up my dethatcher. But yeah, the cup holder's great. It's nice and deep for a nice bottle of water. If you have soda, it's gonna bounce it around and end up flat, so obviously just water. Nice little storage pocket here. It's still just a little too small for my smartphone to fit all the way down in here, but it fits great. And the other neat thing is we have a nice little storage pocket up there, which I love that. That comes in handy for keys or anything else that you need to keep out of the way. Now, one more important thing I want to talk about and let everybody knows that has purchased these mowers or is thinking about purchasing these mowers: do not rely on this deck height adjustment right here. I learned that the hard way. I had a buddy of mine come over, help me cut, and he said he had his set on 3 inches. So I'm thinking, okay, so I went ahead and lowered mine right there to 3 inches, and it scalped the crap out of my yard. So after further investigation, we raised it back up, and when we raised it back up, we actually measured the blade height down here, and it's actually off, I want to say, by a 1/2 inch to 1 inch, somewhere in there. Maybe it was a 3/4 inch, I'm not sure, I can't remember exactly. So on this, 3 inches is actually 3.5, so I think it's a 1/2 inch off. So when I mow it at 3 inches, I have to put it right there at 3.5. So make sure you check that. I'm gonna get a hold of Cub Cadet and see if they will take care of this for me. I'm not sure if, or not. But make sure when you get one, or if you already have one, check and measure your blade. Just all you have to do is get it on a level surface, pull your blade out to right here, and just measure it with a tape measure, so you can find out exactly where the correct height is. And then if yours is off, you can either contact Cub Cadet, see if they'll adjust it for you, or take it somewhere and pay to have it adjusted, or just remember, like myself, 3.5 inches, that's 3 inches. I honestly may not even worry about it, but then again, that's just me. But make sure you guys check that. I learned that the hard way. Thankfully, it did not kill my grass. I only did it one time. I caught it, I put the mower on a level surface, measured, and we figured out the problem. So make sure you guys check that. If you're thinking about getting one of these mowers, or if you already have one, make sure you check that. But yeah, guys, I think that's going to do us for this one. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like I said, this has been a great mower. I love it. I'm planning on keeping it for a long time unless I decide to upgrade to a 0-turn, which I have thought about in the future. Not anytime soon, but at some point in the future, I may upgrade to a 0-turn. But this is a great mower for what it is, the XT1 LT42 or the 46 or even the 52 or 54, I think. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you're stopping by for the first time and you haven't already, please consider subscribing. Make sure you like the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.